Hey everybody, Aaron again. Hey, I wanted to do a Cardinal cast and hit on a few things that I use when I'm talking to a customer or when I'm working on trying to close a deal or close a sale. So basically what I want to get into is how I use Xactimate, HAAG Engineering, and the NCRA as a few points that roofers and contractors probably don't know or don't go through, and what really sets us apart. So, the first thing is, roofers and contractors, they don't really specialize in anything. Roofers roof, contractors do a little bit of everything. Some of our old marketing information said that, and I said, with Cardinal Cat, we only do insurance claims. Therefore, that's our sole competency. It's our core competency. It's all we know. So when there's a big storm, everybody's an insurance claim contractor, but year in and year out, every day, Cardinal Cat, Nashville Cat, this is all we do. So nobody is better when it comes to handling your insurance claims because we've spent the time, we've spent the money, we've done the research, we've got the experience, we know how all this works. So the first thing I'll talk about is Xactimate. Now, your insurance company will come out and they will inspect your property and they will present you a scope of damage with, numbers and figures to let you know how they are going to pay for whatever's ruined at your house. So 85% of the risk industry uses this big fancy software package called Xactimate with an X, Xactimate. So Xactimate is a software company based out of Salt Lake City. They started, I think, in 1986. They started the 80s, and they're the industry's leader. I'm sure they're in cahoots with somebody, but they are the industry leader when it comes to setting the pricing. So they'll pull, different vendors and suppliers and look at labor rates and fuel rates and GDP, and they'll look at all this stuff on a monthly basis, and they'll tell you today in your zip code what it takes a licensed, insured, sometimes I'll say higher end contractor to do the work. So there's an industry national package that State Farm, all the big insurance companies use to set the pricing. So as far as I know, we're one of a handful of companies, both in Metro Nashville and Metro St. Louis, where we pay all the money to have that exact same software that the insurance companies use. What does that mean? That just means that we know what everything costs. So fundamentally, we don't give bids because of that. Our duty is to meet with the adjuster, assess your damage, and agree on the scope of damage. And then we'll plug the scope of damage into Xactimate, and it will spit out, based on where you live, how much it will cost, whether it's by the hour, linear foot, square foot, bid item, whatever it might be. Xactimate covers everything. And it's not just for roofing. You burn down your basement. You have to bring somebody out to rip out all your flooring. We can plug that into Xactimate, and it will tell you. If you're a farmer and your barn blows down and you lost your milk machine for your cows, you can plug the milk machine in, and Xactimate will tell you what a milk machine costs based on your zip code. I was even messing around with it, and I said, it even has bowling alley lanes. So if I own a bowling alley and I get hit with a tornado and I have to purchase a new bowling lane, Xactimate will tell you what the price is. So it does anything, and I know a lot of our Nashville office and other people really like to get into the nuts and bolts of how Xactimate works because it really tells you. It has descriptions. It's a pretty extensive, it's almost like a big search engine for exteriors, interiors, the cost of doing anything. So as an insurance claim contractor, there really isn't a whole lot we can't do, between Google and our Rolodex and all of our connections within the industry. If we can find somebody that's qualified to do it with the right insurance, we can figure out what the price is, and we can cost out damn near anything. I know we've recently got into, in 2020, 2019, we've gotten into some trades that we've really never messed with in, 10 plus years of doing this in St. Louis. But the point is, all the insurance companies use Xactimate to set the pricing. So as an insurance claim only contractor, this is all we do. We set the prices with the insurance company. So we're not just pulling prices out of our ass. We know what the stuff costs. We can put together an estimate that is line by line to the penny, exactly the same as State Farm, as Allstate. So very few contractors have it. The bigger boys that really know what they're doing, they will have Xactimate, and it actually puts together a really nice, pretty bid, a really nice, pretty estimate. So that's one of the things that sets us apart. I will have more Cardinal casts coming out talking about bids and why bids work against you. And, the whole point of having Xactimate, if you can explain this to your customer, you can say, this is why we don't give pricing out. Okay, we're gonna let the insurance company, let them set the scope of damage. We already know what it costs because we've got the same pricing software. So we're just gonna check their math. And that's a really easy way to eliminate bids. More on that later. So the next thing we talk about is HAAG Engineering. So HAAG Engineering is a forensic science firm. They started in the 50s. They're from Irving, Texas. And they pretty much set the standard for what all the insurance companies follow for what's called functional damage. So they have all these scientists and they do all these tests, and they will basically tell you what ruins exteriors, roofing, siding, and whatnot. I'm sure they do more than roofing. But they have a class all over the country. It's actually a pretty big outfit. And the way I explain it to new people, and the way I explain it to homeowners is, think of HAAG Engineering as adjuster school. So if you're an adjuster and you're new and you want to learn about what is and is not damage, most insurance companies have a version of some sort of an engineer type training, and HAAG Engineering is the company that kind of sets a standard across the board. So it costs a shitload of money. And it's one of those things where every year you have to do continual education. I believe it's a 25, 35-hour class. A lot of times we'll send people, they're all over the country. So for Cardinal, we'll usually send people to Nashville or to Chicago to go through it's a 3 or 4 day class with a test. And you must pass the test at some percentage in order to get your HAAG Engineering residential roofing accreditation or certificate. So there's commercial, there's residential, and there also is wind, which I haven't done yet. But I had my HAAG certification in 2010, so I've had it for quite a while. We like to, when our project managers hit whatever specific benchmark they have in their pay plans, the company will pony up the money to have the project manager go out and go through the HAAG Engineering classes and take the test and have their certificate. So basically, when I'm selling this to the public, this really, tells you that not only do we know how much it costs, and we have, all the technology to know what the stuff costs, we also spend the time and money. So all of our sales team, all of our project managers, they know what damage is. I mean, hail damage, believe it or not, can be very subjective. And for the untrained eye, a lot of people won't know what the difference is between a foot fault and a blister and, actually a bruise on a shingle. So HAAG Engineering tells the public that, you don't know what this is, but roofers and contractors here in Nashville, roofers and contractors, in St. Louis, they don't spend the time and money to really educate themselves, to become a student of what we do, of their trade, of their industry. A lot of them won't go to HAAG Engineering. They don't know what the heck it is. They put a roof on, pay me Friday. I need to get a new neck tat, whatever. But with Cardinal, when you're working with Cardinal Cat, most of our project managers, I think we've got 8 or so today. I don't know how many. We've had as many as, I think, 20 HAAG certified, project managers selling for the company. So that means that they will go through and they will become a student of what is and is not ruined. Now, I caution everybody about HAAG Engineering because here's the deal. Just because we've went through the training and we know what HAAG engineering says is damage or is not damage, what's a bruise, what's functional damage, is the shingle fractured, all this stuff, doesn't necessarily mean the insurance adjuster is going to agree with it or the insurance company is going to approve whatever we're working with. So just because we have HAAG engineering doesn't give us a license to have everything approved. What it really does is it shows your customers that you are qualified. It shows you know what we're talking about. And really, when we started the company and when I first started doing this, I thought, I want the insurance adjusters to know that I know what they know. And if they're working with a contractor that knows what the hell they're talking about, they'll probably be more fair. They'll probably be more giving. So I usually will wear my HAAG engineering ID badge with my Cardinal badge when I'm on job sites, and I flash the thing all the time. The homeowners, insurance agents, people, the public won't know what HAAG engineering is, but you better believe that most adjusters are going to know what HAAG engineering is. Now, some adjusters will think it's bullshit. Some people will think it's, they follow their standards, they agree with them, whatever. It just shows the insurance adjuster that we know what the heck we're talking about. And, for some people, it really helps them. It talks weather patterns, it talks roofing, it talks shingles, it talks manufacturing. It does, if you are a student of being a project manager for Cardinal Cat, for Nash Cat, for any of our companies, if you really are taking this seriously and you really want this to be long-term, long-term career path, your own company, you will go and get your HAAG engineering certificate. So HAAG engineering kind of just shows the customers too, we know what this is. So my quick line that I'll say is, HAAG engineering is the standard that all the insurance companies follow. So what HAAG engineering says is measure a 10-foot by 10-foot test square, like in other words, a 10-foot by 10-foot box on a roof. And every insurance company will have a different standard, but usually it's 7 for a 3-tab and then 8 or 9 for an architectural shingle. On that test square, on that 10-foot by 10-foot square, if you can find 7 to 9 hail hits, that means that elevation, that side of the roof is totaled, or they're going to pay to remove and replace it. So the way that most adjusters will come out is they'll do a test square in one part of the roof, they'll do another test square in another part of the roof, and it's not really set in stone, but usually, 2 to 3 elevations will cover full tear off and full replacement. So knowing test squares, knowing HAAG engineering won't hurt you. It will help you. It'll show you. It'll show the adjuster that you know what you're talking about, and just builds credibility with your customers. So HAAG engineering, and check it out on the website and online. I mean, it does have a bunch of stuff for, whomever you're working with or mentoring with or with me, where I can go through and explain how it works. Now, I think that we all should be wearing our HAAG engineer ID badge and our company ID badge, but that's just me. And not everybody agrees with that, so we'll leave it at that. So the last thing with this, some extra features, advantages, and benefits of us hiring Cardinal and working with us is the NRCA, so the National Roofing Contractors Association. So what the National Roofing Contractors Association is, it's a nonprofit organization that started at the turn of the century, like in early 1900s, out of Chicago. And basically, it's a organization that helps set all the roofing codes and standards, basically the world follows it, but basically for the United States. So they help write code. They basically set the guidelines for how to be a roofer. So it's a membership. It's a pay membership, so you got to pay for it. It's a couple $1,000 a year, I think. It's not cheap. And when you are a member, you have access to all their libraries, all their data. I've done conference calls with their engineers. If I had a customer that had a gotcha moment and got me in something I didn't know, I wasn't going to bullshit my way through it. I had a customer ask me something that I wasn't quite sure of, so I organized a conference call with one of the engineers in Chicago and talked to Roof Nerd. I think it was about a layover is actually what it was, but anyway, don't use them that much. I personally like them for the branding. I like to have the NRCA stuff all over our trucks, all over our marketing information. I think in St. Louis, there's only 30 roofing contractors that are members of the NRCA. So most roofers and most contractors, they don't give a crap. I mean, they're not going to spend the money on something that's going to show the public and help teach their staff, the best roofing practices. So when you think of what the NRCA does for Cardinal, for our branding, for reputation, for NashCat, is it shows quality. It shows that we know the latest and greatest technologies. We know the most cutting edge, whatever it is having to do with roofing, we know about it. Now they send out tons of literature, and we get inundated with all their stuff. If anybody really wants to know anything from the NRCA, I can get anything sent over to you. And I think a lot of their stuff is online. They've got regular old books. They help write the roofing test nationwide for the states that do require testing and whatnot. So what the NRCA really will show the public is, we take the time to keep up with, the latest and greatest everything about roofing. So we know our shit, basically. So between HAAG Engineering, NRCA, and having the Xactimate software license, those are three things that I sell constantly. Now, the cool thing about this is, it's building credibility, it's building knowledge, it's building comfort. Listen, we know this shit. We really know this stuff. Roofers and contractors, the way it works nationwide is, it's a fast sale, it's a used car salesman type sale, it's cheap, it's price, it's bang, bang, bang. We're going, hold on, let's really teach the customer how all this shit works. An insurance claim is a once in a lifetime proposition for a lot of people, so let's really slow down, let's show you how it works, and let's make sure that we're working together, and let's get your house put together the right way. It really shows our expertise. So this one, I'll leave this one go. Have a great one, and we'll keep on pounding through these Cardinal casts for teaching.